We've all been sold a story. The visionary founder who always knew that he was going to build something huge, or the coach who found her true calling after one life-changing retreat, or the person who changed career after this single crystal clear moment of clarity. And these are great stories. And often they're a bit bullshit. These people aren't being dishonest. They're just doing what humans do, which is making sense of a messy journey by telling it backwards. And there's this great quote from Steve Jobs: "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards." And I love this because nobody's TED Talk opens with, okay, I stumbled around for 15 years. I hated most of my jobs and kind of fell into this thing by accident, right? But that's closer to the truth for most people, including me. So today I want to talk about what happens when you're ready for change, but you have absolutely no idea what you're changing to. Ready? Let's dive in.
Hey, I'm Noemi, former queen of bad habits and corporate go-getter turned well-being coach and personal growth junkie. And in a world full of overwhelming wellness advice, we're here to cut through the noise. This is your space to master healthy habits, transform your mindset, own your well-being, and design a life you love on your terms. We're ditching the highlight reels and embracing the whole messy, imperfect journey towards becoming our absolute best selves. You're the author of your own story. So are you ready to write the next chapter? Let's go, and welcome to Unwritten Potential.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Unwritten Potential with me, Noemi. I am so happy that you're here. Let's get into it. And if you listened to last week's episode, I talked about the difference between wanting to change and being ready to change. And one of my subscribers read this and sent me a message to the effect of, hey, I'm ready for change. I'm in a job that's okay, it's comfortable, but I feel like I've outgrown it. And I need to find a new path, but I don't really know what to change to. And I read that and I was like, yes, I could have written this message myself at so many different stages of my own personal and professional life. You may have done the hard bits, you know you're ready for change, but being ready doesn't help much when you have no idea where you're going. The self-help world loves telling people to get clarity and find their purpose. But most people are stuck by exactly those questions. And that's whether you're 25 and wondering what to do with your life, if you're 40 and outgrowing the career that you have worked so hard to build, or if you are 55 and feeling a pull towards something completely new. That feeling is the same. Something needs to change, but that's followed immediately by, okay, but change to what? And again, I get it because my own CV is gloriously patchy. I'm 42 and I always joke that I still don't know what I want to be when I grew up. My first job was in a call center. I kind of hated it. Then went into commercial and business development roles, did recruitment for a bit. God, I hated that too. I got my master's in my 30s, so I was a bit older. Spent 10 years in innovation and in legal technology. That was super fun until my spectacular burnout. Became a certified coach, started this newsletter and podcasts. I also DJ at events because it's fun and why not? And so for years, I looked at people with their clean, linear careers and thought, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just pick a thing and stick with it? And I remember reading Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg when it came out in 2013. And I thought Sheryl Sandberg at the time, I thought she had it all figured out. Her profile was so prestigious. Like her whole story was so compelling. And I felt inadequate because my CV looks nothing like hers or the other business leaders that I admired. In hindsight, turns out the people that we measure ourselves against aren't always worth measuring up to. But anyway, and here's the thing, the pattern only shows up in the rearview mirror. While you're living it, it just looks like patchwork. It's not a sign we're doing it wrong. Real life is not a keynote. It's not linear. That's how it actually works. People reinvent their careers through experiments, not endless self-analysis. You don't think your way into a new path. You experiment your way into a new path. And unplanned events are just inevitable, but they're also useful. So the skill here isn't having a perfect plan, but it's staying open to opportunities. And if you think of it, even identity works like this. You become something because you kept showing up towards that thing, not because you discovered a calling. One thing leading to another. None of it is obvious at the time. So for me, I did create opportunities. And when something showed up that felt right, I jumped towards it, which explains the patchwork career. And when it didn't work out, and plenty of times it didn't, I took the setback as a learning experience, even when it felt like a total failure at the time. But it was never a big master plan, big strategy. Just keep moving, stay open, see what happens. And maybe that is not great career advice, but that is my own journey and my own experience. And so at 42, I'm on my fourth career pivot, but I'm also recording this from Colombia in the middle of our year-long trip adventure, which we planned with zero certainty about what comes next, what comes after this. You don't need a grand plan to go all in. You just need one next move you can stomach. So if knowing the destination isn't the starting point, then what is? And here's one of my favorite coaching questions, and I want you to really sit with this one. If you knew everything was going to work out, what would be your next move? Let me repeat this. If you knew everything is going to work out, what would be your next move? And I love this. It's a great question because it doesn't ask for a 5-year plan. It doesn't ask you to define your purpose or justify anything. It just asks for one move. Some people get an answer immediately and then spend 10 minutes talking themselves out of it, trying to reason why that immediate answer is a terrible idea. And others draw complete blank. Both are useful. If nothing came up, it usually means you've been stuck in your head, maybe for a bit too long. And the answer will not come from more thinking. It will come from doing something, anything different, something small. So it's not, hey, I'm going to quit my job, but maybe message that one person on LinkedIn whose career makes you curious and ask how they got there. Small, not like, hey, I'm going to start this new business, but okay, how can I maybe spend one evening sketching out my idea? Not let's change everything, but let's change one thing this week and see how this feels. One move this week. Not a commitment, but an experiment. Experiments don't fail. They just give you data. 10 minutes of trying usually teaches you more than 10 hours of thinking and spiraling. Here's the bottom line. Clarity is so important, but sometimes clarity is overrated. Action is never overrated. The best things in my life came from messy, imperfect action, not from waiting until I had it all figured out, because I never have it all figured out, and you probably don't either. Nobody's journey looks like a TED Talk while they're living it. It only looks like that in the retelling. So stop waiting for the whole map and start with one tiny move and see what happens. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If this episode resonated, I would love it if you shared it with someone who's been stuck in that loop of, hey, I want to change, but I'm not sure to what. You may also consider subscribing to this podcast and my newsletter at unwrittenpotential.com. In the meantime, take care of yourself, sending much love your way, and I will see you next week. Bye.